Sitting here with Jason Kane. Jason from the Isle of Man, first student from the Isle of Man, by the way, I will say, and who got done with the program. The reason I make these calls is to get people's story and try to, capture how the course has affected their understanding and their musical life, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity to get other people that might be in similar situation to yours, because everyone has a slightly different situation. Some people resonate with different, scenarios, depending. And I know for a fact that there are tons of guitarists in your situation or in the situation that you were in before the course, been playing for a while, would like to have music become more and more a part of your life, especially as, even already while you still have a job, but as you hopefully at some point ease off of this, you'll be able to really kind of focus more on music. There's tons of people in that situation, and there's tons of people that therefore would like to understand music and understand theory so that they know what to do, and know what to practice and what's going on there. So tell us a little bit, Jason, about your life. What do you do, and what's your life like outside of the guitar, essentially?
Yeah, sure. So I'd say foremost, I got into music before anything else. I was still in my last year of A levels, which I don't know if you are accustomed to that, but it's your fault. So you have your kind of GCSE levels. You move into you stay behind in school. You do your A levels. So at that point, I started getting very interested in certain bands, particularly around the 80s rock and metal scene. And that just inspired me to pick up the guitar and start learning that music. So, but then of course you have to get yourself into work. So, I found myself a job, but being on the Isle of Man, as you mentioned, it's a huge financial sector. So it's either, you either become a tradesperson, a fisherman, a farmer, or you get into finance, and finance seemed like the one because that's where the money kind of is to be made. So I started my career in like the banking world, into insurances and stuff like that. So I probably focused on that for about 20 years. I always had music in the background as well. Never focused enough on it until I think it was more learning my favorite songs, my favorite bands, and it was always a bit of a guessing game. And it's something I always wanted to do, was try and understand music. Now we can spend time going on through YouTube, all those sort of tutorial videos, these magic videos of you learn these scales within half an hour, understand your fretboard in an hour, and you start looking at these videos and you just go, man, I'm not grasping any of this, and you move on. I think a lot of guitarists relate that they'll get stuck in this similar rut. So I think it was probably around COVID. I sacked off my career career path that I was on. I took a year out of work, reevaluated my life a little bit, and I wanted to start exploring the guitar a bit more, into music. Now that's shortly after when I got back into a less extreme job, let's say, and that's when we obviously got introduced. You contacted me. I thought this is something I've always wanted to be getting done, and that's how I joined the course and where I am today.
Where it all started.
Yeah, that's where it all started. And yeah, I would never. It's so happy I did it. I'll never look back. It's one of them. A lot of people say should have done this a long time ago. It's opened up so many possibilities and avenues. So the guitar is just so much fun again. People relate and understand. Like again, you can go back and if you're watching if you're watching videos online, you can actually relate and understand what that musician is actually talking about. It's a lot easier to digest. It's just not the same minefield anymore. You know, we can go back to like harmonizing your scales, and you know that's been such an eye opener that it's like straight away, instead of fumbling around and going, well, what's going to sound right, instantly I can say, okay, I'm in my favorite key of like E minor, and straight away I'll know just okay, well these chords are going to work, and you can just build tunes around that. You know instantly what scale you're going to do over that, and it's just magical. So every day, you know, it's such a privilege and joy now just to get home, pick up the guitar, and have a little jam, and that's exactly where I want to be. There's still a big road ahead, but it's amazing that in the, you know, when we start in September, October last year, finished up in probably like February, maybe February, March time.
Yeah, so it took us about 6 months, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah, 5 months.
and it's phenomenal. The information, just the expressiveness you can bring through the guitar now, what compared to what it was. You know, it does feel like past 20 years whilst you've been working on a lot of technique, and you know it's made it a lot easier from that standpoint. It's just amazing how everything has come together now that wasn't there, and it doesn't necessarily feel like a waste of 20 years, but like I say, I've built a lot of technical skill in that 20 years, but there was these huge gaps which were way more important, I think, than that technical skill. At least that's how I kind of feel about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm so happy that that's how you feel. That makes me really happy, because this is exactly the type of feeling that I want to,
Yeah,
you know, not evoke, but to allow people to feel, I would say, after doing this. And you're completely correct. It is not a waste of 20 years, because um, you will always, what you learn prior to understanding theory, the technique, the nuances, learning songs, kind of messing around, is priceless. Now, could you have shortened that time to maybe 5 years and then learn theory, and would you be in a different spot now? Yes, absolutely. But it's still not a waste of time. And again, that's what I try to tell people, is it's never too late, because while theory doesn't take that long to understand, and maybe you can tell us about, like, you know, again, like how surprisingly short, I would say, all things considered, that journey is. You can't do this for the technique. You can't just become really good at technique and stuff in 4 or 5 months like we did. That takes time, 5-10 years. And so once you got this out of the way, you're prime for a theory understanding, so that you can finally put everything together. So what would you say, like, relatively speaking, about the ease and the pace of the?
Yeah, absolutely. Because beforehand, you don't know where to start. It's so confusing. There's so much conflicting information out there. Yeah, you just get lost, and it's really hard to discipline yourself to sit down and follow a path and a course, which you know your course lays out. And it was super easy to understand. Like once you sit, you might have to replay the lesson back a couple of times. You start going through the homework, you start reading some stuff. But seriously, it was, you know, some nights I didn't have to do it every night, but, you know, I would say on average, if you're putting in the half an hour a night to divide it up from your practical on the guitar to also learning that theory as well. Wow, I mean, it digests super easy, and actually, like, wow, is that all it is? Okay, that makes sense, you know. Whereas before, it was just, I say, it was just, it was this like mystery, I guess. You know, you just, like I say, I don't want to repeat myself, but you just didn't know where to start with it. It was so confusing and so conflicting, the information out there. You just thought you're never going to grasp this. But yeah, your course just lays everything out at a really nice pace. The way you explain everything, super simple. It's just it's one of them. I don't think I can look at the guitar in the same way now. Like that music theory side of it was absolutely critical to getting to where I am today. But yeah, to answer the question, it was super easy, super digestible. really, really helpful.
So does that make you um, excited about the possibilities coming forward? And have you already, would you say you've already kind of like experienced some betterment in your playing? Because I know there is the theory part, there's also like the fretboard navigation part, which is like cage system based. Essentially those are the two main pillars, I would say, of the course, right? It's
Yeah,
navigation and theory, and then
yeah.
the chord directions and everything. How do you feel that's already kind of impacted your playing? And
Oh, massively. I mean, I probably in the first month was massively impactful because as soon as we started touching the cage system, and that key bit of knowing those notes on the guitar, and then how you can just build that cage system from those notes, was just instantly put all the dots together. I'd say that's one of the most useful bits of the course that I took away, and I still use like fluidly today. Anytime I'm jamming with friends or if we're at band practice and stuff like that, it's so hard now to fall out of key because of those systems. Yeah. And that, I say, I noticed that from, let's say, I think it was about two or three lessons into the course. Straight away, you were seeing that benefit, and other people were seeing that benefit. It was great.
yeah, that's amazing. That's exactly it. I mean, it's important to get those fast wins when you're embarking on a course like this, because, of course you get it's like exponential. It builds. The more you understand, the faster it builds, but it's important to get a nice little kickstart. And I think sometimes people underestimate how just knowing your notes and then understanding intervals and mapping out the cage system already kind of like essentially allows you to contextualize the things you had already been playing and practicing. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're just kind of like, now you have a proper map to understand those things, which, like you said, gives you some sense of ease and some easy wins at the beginning like that.
Yeah, like, exactly. That's what I loved about it, and that's what then just dedicating my time and focused me into the course, because you see those results and you're like, yeah, this dude's not lying. What he said, what you said on our first introduction call, you're absolutely, absolutely bang on. If you can put the time in and do it, like I say, that half an hour a day, it's going to change your life big time.
Well, that makes me so happy. It's, you get into it's easy to get into a mode where sometimes I ask myself, I'm like, am I really helping people that much? Because you don't know, like, I've known this stuff for so long that I forget sometimes the feeling of really kind of going through that understanding, like the puzzle kind of taking shape in your mind. And so really it's these types of interactions like the one we're having right now that allows me to remember why I'm doing this, and that it is important, and that people really do need this information out there in a world where everybody's trying to just clickbait you, right? Everybody's just looking at views, and views don't come from in-depth videos. They come from miracle solutions to problems that don't have miracle solutions. So, yeah, it means a lot. I just want to say it really means a lot to get this type of feedback. I'm really happy that it helped you, and that you will be hopefully taking this information and applying it for as long as you play music, and maybe even communicate it to some other people and help out other people understand, and just, make the world a better place when it comes to fretboard navigation, I guess, as much as that helps the world.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. No, I would definitely intend to. You're doing a good thing. Like I say, you'll have your own little Will army in no time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I hope I don't get this guru reputation. This is not what I'm. Yeah, I just want people to just have a safe place where they can answer questions and have them answered with some thought behind it, rather than just random answers that don't necessarily make sense. So that's
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you get a sense straight away with you that what you're trying to do is genuine. Like go back to that clickbait point. Your videos already today on YouTube. I do follow them. I do watch them. Some of the comments you get there are absolutely phenomenal as well. If people all need to look at that to go the stuff they've taken away in that hour video. It's just wow, they've delve around YouTube like similar to me. Like I probably could have learned a lot if without being introduced to you directly and watching these videos. I'd have probably learned a hell of a lot in those as well. So, but this is how I work. This is how I prefer things. I need someone dragging me a little bit. It is busy outside of music. So by having those structured courses, or the structured course, set homework, that kind of stuff, just kept me focused and going. I don't think I'd have been able to do that just by watching those YouTube videos. So that's what works for me.
it does. Yeah, I mean, it's I put these things on YouTube without holding back. By the way, it's not like I say like and now I will say you this. I'll tell or now I'll give you this piece of information if you do this, right? So I'm really kind of giving the full thing. But the purpose of programs is mostly, like you must have noticed, like even though you have the videos, there will be questions and there will be points of confusion that require a specific explanation or a more specific example or something that resonates more with you. And this is just absolutely impossible on a general level. Like you need some one-on-one interaction. You need someone to tell you, go back and review this. Now you can go forward. Like to kind of also, manage your pace in the course, because it's easy enough for people to kind of skip ahead thinking they understand and realizing they don't, or to, on the other hand, stay stuck in something and thinking, oh, I don't understand this yet. And then having someone tell you, no, it's okay. You'll be able to look at this later. It's time to move on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Which I'm sure we had that conversation a couple of times. So.
Yeah, we did. Awesome, man. Well, listen, this is awesome. I'm really stoked. I'm really happy about everything you're saying here. So I guess the last thing is that I like to ask everyone is if you were to talk to the previous you or to anyone out there that's in your situation and that's kind of on the fence, thinking like maybe they could just keep doing it by themselves. Maybe one day they'll just find a YouTube channel that just goes through everything, like or they're hesitant, maybe financially, maybe time wise, like I don't know, or whatever. Like what would your piece of advice be if that was a bar conversation, you're talking to someone like that? What would you say?
I would say you absolutely have to go for it. I think the amount of money I've probably spent over the years thinking, oh, here's a course, or I buy this, or it could be access to it can be simple things like, okay, I love this band. Certainly it's a lot more accessible now, but like years and years ago it was very difficult to get hold of, oh, how do I play this favorite song by my favorite artist? And a lot of time you had to either buy tab books or you had to buy that kind of stuff. So it might be situations are different now, but for me personally it was like this course allows you, I think it kind of, from a financial perspective, overwrites all of that you've spent. It just feels like a bit of a waste of money, to be honest with you, when you look back at that side of it. But I just think from a kind of a headspace point of view as well, I mean, it's absolutely like changed my life in terms of feeling good, I guess. Like I know, appreciate you're a bit younger at the minute, well, but when you get to, I'm not exactly massively old myself, but life, you start getting stuck in a rut, and this has just rejuvenated a lot of stuff for me. And it's really like, it's just brought a bit of focus back in my life. It's really ticking the boxes. Like I feel just generally a lot happier from going through this course. So, I think I could have reaped that benefit a lot earlier as well if I'd have been on the course before. So that's probably a message I would, if I could tell myself.
Amazing. That's awesome, man. That feels so good. Well, man, you have no clue how grateful I am for this feedback and for my students and for the fact that I can have even just a little bit of an impact like that. So that's really cool. I'm really appreciative. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I'd say, like, just reinforcing that message. I mean, or for anyone out there that's thinking of doing it in the same situation as me, it's 6 months. 6 months, and you will absolutely reap the benefit. It's so worth doing. It's an hour call a week, but half an hour a night practicing. Stick to that routine. And you'll walk away going, "Wow, this. I wish I'd done it years ago." And it goes by super quickly, and it is just 6 months of your life. Do it, get it done.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Jason. Well, yeah, man, I really appreciate you. We had a blast. I'm here again if you have any questions. I want to know what's up. I wanna know how things are going. Don't hesitate to share success, whatever, or gigs, anything that you're putting yourself out there with music wise. Just yeah, don't be a stranger.
Definitely, man. Yeah, and to you, yeah, we'll be life friends, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look forward to seeing you. Maybe one day I'll come to the Isle of Man.